Welcome to the Berlin Selectboard meeting for the May 19th. And to my left is Flo Smith, Vince Conti, and Carla Nuizel. To my right, Tor Nelson, and I'm Joe Staub. Is there any additions and deletions or deletions?
Yeah, we're going to delete the alarm ordinance and the personnel policy, and also we don't have any minutes to approve.
The one at that store. Thank you.
Nice shrink, you said? No.
No.
Ordinance, personnel policy, and no minutes.
Okay. Public comment? Is there any public comment?
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here to discuss a home that my mom owns on 853 Junction Road.
Okay.
And we're really concerned about the Winooski River taking out her land across from the road. And she lives right on the road, and then it's the road, and then it's her property, and then it's Winooski River. So the last 5 years, all the heavy rains have taken this property. And 2023, it took a lot of it. It came up to our home, flooded our whole home, and we had to do a lot of work in the basement, fill pump and all that. We got that fixed. But so each time it rains really hard, and this past rain, it took about 5 feet. And so we just noticed that the river is right there next to the road now, it seems like. I measured today, it was 36 feet from the road to the Winooski River, and the issue is there's an island right there in the middle of the Winooski River. So the water comes down like this. Here's the island, and it splits, and it comes like this, and it's taking this whole the whole bank out, and our leach field is on there too. We'll have no house for that. But my biggest concern when I stand there and look at it, in each storm that comes through, I'm really afraid we're going to lose our road at this point. And there's so many people that live on this road and travel this road and have homes on this road. And so I'm asking for help from the town to please come and see what we can do. If you can put big boulders down. I noticed down the road they did that for the last storm, they did that. But I have a feeling that if we wait another year and a half, it's going to be right next to the road, and there's no going uphill or anything. It gets leveled off. The whole island becomes covered with water, and then it comes into the field, and then right here's the road, and it comes level with the road. Last year it did. The year before, 2023, it came over way into our house. But so each time it does, I took a video today, I took pictures so you could see, but it's all sand, of course, and you can just see it just going like this. And it's because the island is pushing the water from the Winooski River. So I'm here trying to save the road for my mom's house and to save other people's properties as well.
So your mother's property is on the river.
It's her house, the road,
Okay.
a tiny little field that was gigantic in its day, and then the river, and then the island.
So it would take out the road before it take out the house, but she's worried about the road.
Well, it's going to take out the road, so there'll be nobody can travel
access,
through their homes.
Yeah,
And then we won't even have a house because there's no road.
right.
So anyways, I'm asking for survival of this road, pretty much.
Have you talked to the road superintendent about this?
Who?
The road superintendent? Tim Davis?
Tim Davis?
Yeah.
Is he the guy that, is he the one that travels back and forth? He's a road commissioner? Who is he?
Road superintendent, yeah.
Yes, we have talked to him. He's once told Mom that he's concerned this road's going to be gone. That's what he said. And he goes, oh, I know all about your leach field being in there too. Well, it's not so much our leach field per se, is seriously, I see it coming to the road and being able to lose the road at this point. I mean, if we had to move the leach field, we would, We don't have any other place to put it, so our house will be, we'll have to demolish the house at that point. But I'm thinking, more importantly, after I saw what happened, our last storm, crazy, right? It took 5 feet off. It's happening so rapidly. And like I said, today was 36 feet. Next storm, it will be pretty soon. It'll be up to the road,
Mhm.
and the river will be right next to the road, where there's no bank.
Yeah.
There's no bank. It's river, Honeyfield Road.
So your leach field is on that side of the road?
Yes. Yeah. So, anyways, no leach field, no house, but more importantly, no road, and no one can pass. So it'll be
Right.
yeah.
How much did you lose in the July 2024?
Didn't actually get out there and measure at that
Okay.
point in time, but lots, like what people are stopping and saying, people are looking and people are stopping, like, what happened here? It's river is like right there. People that live on the
Yeah.
road are getting concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Would this be something, is it too late to apply for that same program that we
I'm
were?
thinking it is, and I don't know if we're gonna hit the threshold for this week.
Oh, for as far as flooding, yeah,
Yeah,
probably not.
it could last a year, I'm thinking, but if we get another big storm, I'm thinking it's gonna be another 5. 36 feet is not very much.
No, so,
So I'm thinking it's kind of that's why I'm here. It's kind of an emergency, I think.
So there's about 16 feet, you said, from road to river.
36.
36.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then down the road, I noticed the last storm, they came in and they put a bunch of boulders, to put something down so they don't keep losing it was up to the road.
yeah.
So they had to stop it. So I don't know if any of you travel that road. I mean, like I said, I have videos of what it looks like if you wanted to see it. But if people could come down and look at it, they could
Yep,
get a better understanding, I think.
that's a good idea.
I agree.
We'll have to look into, I mean, that obviously is a town road, right? It's a
Yep.
town
Yeah,
road,
yeah.
so we're not gonna get the state to take care of it. But we can look for ways to perhaps fund it.
Yeah, and I think if we were to look at it to just protect the road,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's a town
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And we'd have.
Reaching 30 some odd feet beyond the roadway and then trying to armor that
Yeah,
edge of the river. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think worth looking at.
Yeah, we need to take a look at it.
Definitely.
And whoever does come to look, I really would like to be there. My husband put in the septic system. What you'll see if you go and see there, you'll see a peace pipe sticking way out into the river. Well, that was the existing leach field that was there when my mom bought the house 50 years ago. And so my husband felt like it needed to be moved because of what was going on. So years ago, he did move over the leach field. But if you go there, you'll see that PCP pipe, and that was underground. That used to be land, right?
yeah.
So, but if someone does come and look at it, we would like to be there so we can explain where the septic system and where we think you guys could possibly come in and like build a little road to it and dump like a bunch of boulders or something along the side to be
Okay.
able to save.
It'd be interesting to see if we have a survey from when her mother bought the house too. Because that would show us over the
How
last
much?
year, how much
Exactly.
we've actually lost, or they've actually lost over it as well.
Right.
So what would you like to see?
Survey. We were just mentioning maybe looking back.
A
at
survey
the
map
survey
that
when-
would, or the document that shows the boundaries of the property when your mother bought it, like
Yeah.
50 years ago.
Like,
And then we could see the full extent of over time, how much has already been lost,
yeah.
and it give us a better
That's a
idea.
really good idea. Okay.
Mhm, mhm.
So I appreciate any.
Also, not to, but if she's lost a significant amount of land,
Yeah,
there's a tax abatement program.
I got a piece of paper for that today.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're not, you know what?
Well, I know, but that's, it's
I
just if
know.
the land is less.
But you have to have it surveyed to do that, right?
Well, we'd have to kind of be able to tell how much was lost, yeah. So that's why Vince's point is good to go back and look at what was the acreage back then, or what was and then how much has it diminished?
A lot. And my dad years ago went to the state and they just said, plant some plants there. I'm like, okay, you worked so hard. And you put that grass down and and that's way gone out into the river now. But,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, well, we'll follow up with you, Lori.
Yeah, so if I could leave my name and number so you could talk to me. You know, mom lives there, but she can't deal with anything.
Yeah.
She's an older lady and she's just bewildered and feels like it's.
No, I understand.
Soon.
I understand, trust me.
Yeah, you do.
So
You're advocating for her.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna write down your number.
Okay, 456-8756.
8756.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd love to meet, me and my husband would come and meet you. Meet each other.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Lori.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate your time. I'll wait to hear from you.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
You're welcome to stay if you want.
I came here earlier at 2:00 to talk.
She got public works for it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
that was fun stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I came here earlier to talk to him at 2:00.
Oh, okay.
And instead, we're like, we're gonna sit here until you come in, we can talk to you. And then this nice gentleman said, just come to Selectboard meeting. So I'm here. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh, could I'm asking to be put on the agenda for the next select board meeting as well? That's what he told me to tell you.
Okay.
For June
Makes
2nd.
sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.
Enjoy your evening.
Oh, thank you. Nice to see you.
You too.
Take care. Thank you.
June 2nd.
This. Is there any other public comment?
Well, I'm here about Vine Street. I am too.
Uh-oh, what's going on Vine Street?
Our concern is, well, mine and Lori too, is property damage from the plow. And the grader. And we have talked to Tim Davis to try to, get some answers for what we can do about this. Didn't get anywhere with Tim, so he seemed to think it was lawn maintenance, but what I'm talking about is more damage than just I didn't want him to come mow the lawn or something, but it's more damage than I can take care of myself. I have pictures of
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is right beside my house. And at a time that land was even with the road, but they keep slicing away, and
Oh, yeah, so it's a bank, like.
and this year the gravel was thrown halfway across the lawn, which and this just shows across from my house, it's a pasture. And if the plow would just go that way a little more, or at least stay in the middle, instead of keep slicing into my lawn. This is all that across from the home. This is another issue, but this is also the ditching that seemed to be quite extreme. This is the ditch right by my mailbox. I have to move it because mailman can't,
He falls in ditches.
yeah, in the winter,
That's how bad it
And
is.
the ditching, there's a whole line of trees here on my property, but this one's a little lower. I think that maple's on Kathy's.
Yeah.
But it's like 100-year-old maple tree, and look at the roots.
I was just gonna say, it looks like right out of a storybook, that kind of a very old tree.
Well,
Very-
they just, chop away at all the trees, the bark skimmed off a lot of them. And it just seems like they could be a little bit more careful with those machinery. We have never had this problem before. It's been probably the last 2-3 years of purely been worse.
So I kind of started this, and Flo, you're aware of it, back on December 5th.
Right,
To be exact. 'cause I
exactly.
Scroll backwards.
Yes.
It's really hard for me to be here. I have a solution for the problem. But first off, I got to tell you, I heard you say something about law and legal charges and stuff like that. As far as I'm concerned, Tim Davis is going to cause all of you a major headache. And I can't believe the way he talked to me on the phone, that he hasn't done that to other people. He did it to Carol after me. And he was very antagonistic. I started out the phone call in a reasonable manner. He started out the phone call with, and you better not be yelling at me. So right there, that told me other people have yelled at him. I mean, short of posting on Front Porch Forum, please contact me if you've had problems with our road commissioner. I know that if I did that, I know I would hear from other people. I know it. But my concern was the same as Carol's. It has gotten worse. And I'm gonna have to rake my lawn the rest of my life. And I don't mind doing it. I look at it as, you know, this is my exercise every spring. But I have raked off so much stone and crap. I've filled in my whole back area. I can't fill it in anymore. I have filled in potholes. I probably should have taken it in wheelbarrow loads down and filled in around Carol's mailbox. And that's the honest to God truth. I'm not quite sure why we have to have these ditches, but my conversation with him on the phone at my office one day it went from bad to worse in the fact that I said, you know, I neglected this year. I didn't get my little markers up, you know, to kind of guide the plow for the first round of snow, which wasn't much. But the plow driver came up through and literally dumped this much gravel on the stinking lawn. I went out and shoveled it because it was wet gravel stone. I threw it back into the road where it belonged. But that irritated him when I brought that up. So our conversation, Flo, I told you about the conversation. I don't want to waste anybody else's time here. He's rude. He's very abrasive and he's insulting. And, you know, in Carol's conversation with him, 5 months later, he brings up my name, or he doesn't call me, oh, your neighbor, yeah, she hates me. That's immature. That does not come from a road commissioner that you were paying. Unfortunately, my son had to listen to me bitch about this and bitch about the lawn. And he happened to come up and he saw exactly what I was talking about. Because after I talked to Mr. Davis, I took five-gallon buckets, filled it with pellets, and I got my stakes up there. The plow driver came up through. And there's a video that I sent you. Please, if you could take my voice off from that, it would be great. I was pissed. And the plow driver, you can see where he swerved. He swerved. He took out every one of those things. I mean, there's pellets. I've raked that all off my lawn too. Those are my pellets. I don't care. But I talked to Tim Davis about that. His biggest thing was, well, be on 25 feet back or 24 feet back or whatever it is. My point is that road doesn't need to be a throughway. There's an empty farmhouse beyond me, a few feet. There is 1, 2, 4 more houses up there that have people in them. If you go up beyond my house, they've ditched and they've dug so bad that I think the wires on the power poles is what's holding up this one power pole, because they've even dug that out. And I'm like, you know, it's not bad enough that they're digging and they're killing the tree roots, but now they're going to dig the power pole out. If you just look, my solution is 5, 7 years ago, and I brought this up with Tim, they came and they cleared brush on the opposite side of the road from our homes. They cleared it. One of the things they cleared was a beautiful apple tree. And I was really, you know, if they had to take the apple tree, fine. It wasn't my tree, it was Richard's. He was upset. He's passed. But what that indicated to me was this is going to be good because now they're going to be pushing it more that way. They don't even make an effort to do that. And when I brought that up with him, his response to me was, that was before my time. That doesn't count. I don't care how much before your time was it. I think that the former road commissioner was also Tim Davis. I would assume this is Tim Davis Jr. And I'm just really disappointed. I'm disappointed in the town of Berlin. Actually, I've lived here all my life. I've lived in that house literally all my life. I'm going to be 65 years old, to put it in perspective. And to be treated and talked to like that, it doesn't make me have warm fuzzies about this town or want to volunteer for anything in this town. I'm retired. I just recently retired. I thought about doing that and I said, I don't want to deal with that. And, if he wants to dot every T and cross every I, okay, you own this much further back, fine. But I don't think his reaction to me or to Carol or to other people that I know he's talked to that way is an appropriate reaction. And I would encourage you guys to come up and take a look across the road from me, because that road could be moved over a little bit, maybe like 2-3 feet. So then that changes the center of the road and how much the town owns, 2 or 3 feet or half that, 1.5 feet on the other side. And it would be very easy. I mean, the other thing when we were talking about the plow driver, he's making excuses for him. Oh, well, the plow driver can't see where his plow goes. And I'm like, well, maybe he ought to do like the state driving course like they do up in Derry. And if he knocks down so many cones, he shouldn't be a plow driver. And yeah, I said it. I mean, at that point, it was just all excuses. And I felt like he was being very hostile towards me. And I'm sure the plow driver is just a fine person, but if you can't drive, the other thing is if you go just up past, not much past my house, even where they've done the grading, it's like a channel. I mean, if someone stood at the top and dumped 1 million gallons of water, it'd be a perfect river coming down. Most of it goes into my driveway. And I'm like, why would you grade like this? I don't get it. It is, sending it. So I'm out there digging and I'm trenching it to go down on my lawn. I'd rather have it down on my lawn instead of in front of my garage. And I mean, I came up here last year and got sandbags trying to sandbag it. The grader guy takes out the sandbags. And I'm like, would you not have, gotten your butt out of the grader and say, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why does she feel she has to do this? I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say. And I could go on, but I'm really supposed to be in water very shortly. It's even looking back at my Facebook message to you, you offered to bring this up before. I don't want to go up against the all boys group. I don't want to feel like a target. And frankly, I felt like a target after I put those pails up there. And, Tim told me if I put anything up there again, the next person I would see would be the town police, because there's an ordinance against anything being put there. I mean, that's what I was greeted with. And that's, it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, and what did he tell you about plowing up there?
He is really argumentative. He doesn't want to try to smooth anything over and try to come to a conclusion of how we can live together up here. He told me if I don't like the way I plow, I'm not gonna plow up there. Well, what about the people above me that aren't complaining? It's like, he's argumentative, and I've never seen him. I don't know how old he is, but he seems pretty immature. And
didn't he say, you said you have to plow up here. And I says, oh, no, there's no schools or churches.
There's no schools or churches past you. And he really indicated that, pretty much, I'm gonna say and do what I want, and the, board's gonna back me. That's what he said to me, not in those exact words, but that's what he said.
And I have a question. If he was here at this meeting tonight, would he be on the clock and being paid?
I would think so.
Mhm.
He's an hourly employee, yeah.
So my son, like I said, he called and he talked to him. And he ended up telling my son, yeah, bring it to the select board. I love going to select board meetings because I get paid extra and it's overtime. So as a taxpayer, I'm not real impressed by that statement either, to tell you the truth. But that's the mentality that you have there. And it's offensive. And I get, yeah, you guys probably do own. And I will rake within reason, but I
just want to clear something up. Does right away does not mean ownership. It's property we're paying taxes on. It's not, you have the right of way to clean brush off. Well, we don't have brush on our side of the road, our lawns. So there's really no reason to be doing anything on our lawns. But I mean, if we had some kind of brush that you guys don't want growing, you got the right of way to remove it. But not ownership of our land, am I wrong? It's right away.
because if the town owns it, I'd really rather have my tax changed. And now that I know that you guys have abatements too. I mean, do I have my land surveyed and let's charge me less taxes because I actually own less land? We can't even find the pin because the road has been built up so much. And if you look at my walkway, 20 years ago when that was put in, it was level with the road. Yeah, I can't give you an exact measurement, but it's at least 6 inches below the road now.
Yeah.
And I get, you gotta build the roads up, you gotta do this. I don't know what the deal is up there.
Yeah.
And the only thing, and it's antique, yeah, it is.
It feels like he's doing this on purpose. It really feels like it.
I mean, and why do we need that road so wide? All it's gonna do is create a speedway, and it has. And I said, and because of that, Tim, I said, we're gonna have to change speed limit or something on the hill. And his response was, that's not my department. You'll have to contact someone else. I'm like, you flip, rude. I ended up hanging up on him. I'm not proud of that, but I'm like, I'm not gonna talk to this person. And I don't want to feel like I have a target on my back. And that's why I stopped you from bringing it up before. But after the way he talked to her on the phone, I said, that's it. I'm done.
We appreciate you bringing it up because we don't condone anyone being mistreated by any means. And that you took your time to come here tonight. And I know how you felt at that time, but it's continued to be bothersome. So the fact that you're taking the time now to make us all aware so that we can speak together as a board in terms of.
And there really is a simple solution. I mean, instead of swerving towards Carol's lawn and all the way up through, when you come down through, I know there's a telephone pole or whatever there, but you could just swerve in over there. And that's the same swerve you're taking to take out our lawns. Do you know what I mean? And then unfortunately, I don't know, 100 yards down the road, you've dug such terrible ditches that, your truck would probably fall in and you wouldn't get it out. But I mean, really. And I mean, our neighbor below us was told, you may not put anything over that where we've dug, because I guess it's her string or her well comes across there, and her dad, Stacy's have been up there 3,000 years, said it's going to freeze. And she did go out and put stuff over it, and I offered to come down and cover it with the gravel I took from my lawn. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is, and I've taken up enough of your time.
Well, thanks, Lori, for coming in.
We appreciate you bringing your views forward.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to tell you,
Thank you.
because this is not easy for me.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
I will say the gravel seems to have been an issue on a lot of roads this year.
Well, yeah. And if you look down back of my house, it's really filled in nicely for the back of my bank. You know, I didn't have to pay for it. I guess I did. It was my tax money, but
Yeah.
you could probably come pick it up and save yourself some money and dirt this year. So
You put a lot of work into it.
Thank you.
So much for 3 minutes of public comment.
Ice rink bids.
So I think you all received a letter from Tim Shea,
Yeah.
Chair of the rec committee, regarding their analysis of the ice rink bids. The proposal that was received, that actually is a lower proposal. There is, remember at the last meeting when the bid was opened, we didn't discuss it then because he was, the company, the bidder was expecting more information, and that came in as another $300,000 over and above his original bid. So based on that, the rec committee does not feel that this is a viable project to move forward. And I know they've met a couple of times. Even to keep things the way it is, they would have to do a lot of leveling of the land there and replace the boards. And basically Tom Mueller does this all himself.
It's true.
Yeah.
And so that, the recommendation is to not move forward and to dismantle the existing rink.
You see, they also included an option to consider in the future, perhaps.
With the town
Last
garage.
paragraph.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a few people that'll miss it.
Yeah, it's disappointing, and I do feel like they don't think they're supported by the select board or apparently based on this letter, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It does, it seems like a very grim suggestion to fathom. It could not have come lightly for them to have made this proposal. But I believe as a select board, we do support it, and we have.
Yeah, and I'm very resentful of any action that we don't. I know Tom's mentioned this several times, we don't support it, and that's pure bullshit.
Because I really feel that we all.
I don't know
were
where
in
Tom
support.
coming up with this crap from, but a lot of the problems was his own making with, the rushed bond vote back in November 23, where we didn't have nearly realistic numbers to go with, but he pushed it and we end up where we're at now. So I know I met with Tim. I don't know, Carla, did you meet with Tim or somebody?
No.
I think you met with Tim Shea.
I have.
And,
Mhm.
he very much understood our prospect on there. I mean, I would like to somehow be able to keep this. I mean, I did put in for congressionally designated spending on this, but was turned down.
Yeah.
Congressman Ballant. So I think, just.
Is there any way we could reach out to our representatives and see if there's anything that can be done, even though you were turned down when you went for the congressional delegation? Do you think there's any hope if we tried one more time to see is there anything else that can be done? Because I feel that we are incredibly supportive, and I would rather not see this dismantled if there was any way.
Do we know how much, so we know, so is the issue that the money that we currently asked to be bonded can't be used for the ice rink, or they just don't think it's worthwhile? Because I know when Tom Miller was here last time, I thought the idea was that the amount already approved would be used to make the improvements.
That was my understanding.
But is the question whether we can use that bond money?
Well, the problem is the final estimate even came above that. I mean, the price has gone up another 300,000 on top of what the bill and on top of what the bid came in. So that is now over the
I'm not talking
bond amount
about,
to begin.
I'm talking about just what Tom was talking about last time, just doing didn't include the canopy or any of
Right,
that.
That's gone up another 300,000 just for the rink, not the canopy, not the rink.
Is how much?
Another 300,000 on top of the $500,000 bid. That was just for the base. That's not what I'm thinking of. Basically the rink and
It was that much?
yes.
What was-
I think the bid was like 570,000 plus another 300,000.
And then
Yeah,
all of that,
yeah.
just that.
And then there was discussion at one point of a philanthropic donor. I recall that, like, if there was ever a possibility to go out for someone who might want to be a donor financially for the
Well,
process.
I was just thinking about doing some sort of
Community
suggesting a community
fundraising.
fundraiser
I was thinking that too.
and have an event maybe.
Mhm. I would much prefer that than going this route and doing a dismantle.
Well, I'll go to the planning commission meeting. Is it next week? Must be next week, because this week's
Yeah,
CRB.
it's next week.
Where's my list? And I'll just throw out there, maybe having an event and fundraising, because we talked before about, at the planning commission, about having an event, annual event sort of at the town center to bring attention to what's happening over there, and maybe have food trucks or, just some kind of music, or maybe we could do something like that and have and designate it as a fundraiser for this project, and just see if anybody, I mean, obviously, little funds here and there aren't going to make a difference, but you never know. Someone could come along that wants to donate a significant amount of money.
Mhm.
I think if you're going to do that, you're going to have to advertise it and have a length of time of advertising it. We had an open house here just before the vote for town meeting.
Mhm.
And we may have did we have a dozen people?
20, 25.
Oh, no, I mean, this would definitely be in the fall.
Yeah,
This wouldn't be something that would happen, or like late summer, that you'd have to, you'd have to plan
but
it.
I'm just saying there's going to have to be a lot of planning of this and advertising.
I mean, it might not work for this year, but maybe we could get something. I'm not saying it's gonna save it this year, but maybe if we, who knows? I'll just talk.
The other thing is, I don't know if can we get another year out of this? I know the board's in pretty bad shape, but
I don't know.
Well, I'll go to the planning commission meeting and then I'll report back and see what and talk to them and see what they.
Thank you for being willing to do that, Carla, very much.
I said I was gonna do it all the time, but I haven't been going regularly, so I'm trying to live up to my commitment. Anyway,
Okay, moving on, Karen property closing.
so at the last meeting, we had authorized a special town meeting warning concerning establishing the conservation easements on the property. They found a different way around it. So the seller, I don't know what the word is, established the conservation easements on the property before we bought it. And so those easements transferred with the purchase. Joe attended the closing on that last week, so we can cancel the special town meeting, and I move that we do that.
second.
Any more discussion? All in favor of canceling?
Aye.
Opposed?
Good job.
Thank you. Excellent. Right-of-way permits.
So we have two in the packet tonight. Both are solar projects. One's on Comstock Road, and the other is on Williams Trail, which is a legal trail off of Route 63, just off the exit 6. Tim has met, it's actually the same company doing both, and basically Comstock Road is putting a new driveway, upgrading the truck driveway at the Bass Trail with a new 18-inch culvert. And Williams Lane is upgrading the road itself so they can get the trucks in there to to build the infrastructure. So Tim's okay with both projects and recommends approval.
The Comstock Road came up a year plus ago, didn't it? Or a year ago?
As a part of the Public Utilities Commission Certificate of Public Good.
Yeah.
Application, they asked us for a letter of preferred site status, I think it's called. And then I think both have gone, I think both have gone through the DRB as well.
This one's Ellen Moody, right? Is this
Comstock.
solar Ellen Moody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Comstock, yeah.
Approve them as one.
I think we can.
I'll move to approve the Comstock Road and the Williams Trail right away permit, right away permit.
Second it. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So, Conservation Commission, 3 appointments.
So Tom Willard and Phil Gentili, their terms are up on the Conservation Commission and they would like to stay on for another 3-year term. So
3-year term.
So I will make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And thank you to both of them for their service and continued service. With my done a lot of good with it, very much so.
Your local emergency management plan approval.
So Bruce is online. This is something we have to do every year with our emergency management plan to get sense of where I'm on emergency management every year. I did not print it out for you, but included in the packet I sent you. So I don't know, Bruce, you want to jump in on any changes this year from previous years?
Just a few minor updates for the most part. Some names of some businesses that had changed. We added the Samaritan Haven Welcome Center to our list of organizations that might need additional coordination during an emergency. But other than that, the state had changed the format around a little bit and shuffled some things around. But most of it's, the information is the same for the most part as it was last year's.
Everybody.
Did you get that?
Yes,
thank you,
Thank you, Bruce. I'll make a motion to approve the plan as submitted.
Second.
Any more discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Bruce, before you go, did I send you and Joe something on the Good Samaritan Haven concerns about
Evacuation.
flood evacuations?
We discussed it anyway.
Okay. And then Bruce
You
did.
and I did not. Bruce and I did not.
Okay. Did you see something from Weston's on their plan?
Sorry, my meeting dropped out. Was that for me?
Yeah, did you see something from Weston's
Yes, I did. They sent me a request for some help in doing their emergency plan. And I'm about to get into what the state is looking for and probably share with them some things like our town evacuation plan, at least to serve as an example of the kind of things we have in it. But I haven't proceeded very far on that yet.
Okay, cool, thanks.
The private road naming.
So there's a Google Earth printout. Been a couple houses built on a previously private driveway. When all three are put in, would 911 would require it to receive a name. So the recommendation is that it be named LB Lane. And the houses be renumbered 69, 190, and 260.
Just for perspective, is Route 12 to the right as we're looking at this?
Yes. But if you're looking at it like this.
Yeah, well, that's Route 12 to the right, and it's cross town to the left. Okay. I just wanted to get my bearings on it.
So there's currently 2 houses and another one's gonna be built?
Correct, which triggers the naming.
Okay. I'll move to approve. Oh.
Is there a criteria? Well, I realize the 3 leads to a private road designation. Is there anything to do with the driveway or road conditions it needs to meet for that?
No.
Okay.
So, no, I mean, I think the DRB will require a
Sharing.
private agreement.
Maintenance agreement typically we require. But no, if they want it to be, they want the town to take over the road.
That's different.
That's
Right.
different. Then it has to
Yeah.
come up to road standards,
It
but.
has to be made to the road standard.
And there's probably a standard at the DRB for
That's what I'm
a
wondering.
minimal standard, but it's not like a town road. There's a guide. I think. Hope I'm not lying.
Is there a motion on the table?
Well, I started to. I'll move to approve the LB Lane private road.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? Seems none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so canceling the ordinance, canceling personal, town garage bids.
So I sent you all a link.
You did, and I.
I don't know if you were able to
access the
open it.
link. No. And
I could access it, didn't have enough memory.
Don't get expired.
Yeah, using the free
28 days
version.
ago.
Well, that just shouldn't quite be that much, but I think.
So I was like, okay.
Did you?
I wasn't able to see it.
Okay.
No.
It's nothing we can pull up now. And not that we could,
You not in that
Is-
time. I mean, it's
is-
10, it's like 10 different bids.
Yeah, has it been, I mean, I'm assuming somebody that knows more about it than me is reviewing it, like, is there?
Tim has looked at them. And I got his thoughts on it, but
Cause there was a lot of variation in those bids, if I recall.
right.
Yes, there
Right.
was.
I wonder if Bob's willing to look at, do you think Bob Warnick's willing to look at them?
Or set a meeting to
Or
come
he-
back
I don't know
together.
if he
and go
needs to or
through them
not.
Together here.
Okay,
Bob will, but he tries not to.
okay.
But it's funny.
I just know he's good at that stuff.
How about
Yeah.
just to answer questions that we may have?
Right.
Bob,
Yeah,
or.
I mean, that's,
Or-
Well, I mean, questions we can take back to the bidders themselves.
If we narrow it down, maybe have him look at.
Yeah.
It's a lot to read through, I'm sure. I feel like we need
Or a separate meeting to
A committee.
designated just for that, or committee. Mhm. We had a meeting just designated to the town garage bids and we went through them one by one, discussing, paring down the reasons why.
I mean, we could just bring back, everybody pick their top 5 or 6 and then see if we agree. I mean, that's one thing we could start with, or
They're
3,
probably 3.
I
yeah.
would say top 3. Mhm.
See if we all agree, and if we don't, talk about the others,
Mhm.
talk about the ones we like. That way we're narrowing it down at least before we start. That makes sense?
makes sense if you're picking your 3 based off knowledge of.
Right,
what
that's
you're-
the thing.
That's the downside of that.
Well, I mean,
So,
we can,
so the big thing was, we couldn't necessarily get access to read them.
That's correct.
So we could come in and look at them here at the town office.
Mhm.
Then we don't have to worry about having enough memory.
yep, that's a good point.
We can do it individually or in pairs if that's what you want to do. And then you're not gonna have to warn a meeting.
You might be able to come in Wednesday.
Mhm.
I can do it this week.
Mhm. I can do it this week. I just can't do Wednesday, but
Sits with us.
Friday would be better for me in the afternoon, as an option. But I can definitely this week find a time and
Yeah,
coordinate.
for me, it would be Wednesday or Friday, but let me just,
So do we know?
Is Monday a Monday?
Yes, this coming Monday. Yeah,
Okay. So just keep that in mind with your. Friday will be Federal Friday for a long weekend, so.
Mhm, mhm.
Is this room scheduled during the week? For anything?
I
Okay.
don't think so, no.
frankly, I may come in a little bit Wednesday and a little bit Friday, because I don't think I'm gonna get through 11 of them in one sitting. So. But I'm pretty,
Well, if you knock out all the graphics
yeah,
and all the bios.
yeah, no, it's definitely, yeah. I just had to review contracts for my work and it was like
it's fun stuff.
mind numbing sometimes, but
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we can all kind of make it sometime this week.
Yep.
All right,
Mhm.
thank you. Approval of the warrants.
I make the motion to approve payroll warrant 25-23 for payroll from May 4th, 2025 to May 17th, 2025, to be paid on May 21st, 2025 in the amount of $65,695.15, and payable warrant 25G22 with check number 24948 to 24975 in the amount of $74,996.81.
For a second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Roundtable, Flo,
No, nothing this evening. Mhm.
Vince? No, I'm good. Carla,
roundtables?
roundtable.
One of my coworkers, Amanda Smith, has approached me several times about dumping at the bottom of Bartlett Hill Road. And she did put a thing in on the my.gov, whatever it is. And so she hasn't gotten a response. So she's just interested in knowing if the town, I mean, I guess it happens a lot. It happens every year, but she said usually it happens more around green up time and it's like a school bus stop and I guess people just dump trash there. So she was, I don't know if we can put up a trail cam or because a no dumping sign typically probably doesn't work.
That was the concern.
Although, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what we can do or what, but she hadn't heard back from anybody. So she wanted me to ask tonight about it. So
Large
yeah.
items, personal trash.
I think it varies.
Or something.
I think there's a lot of different, I think it depends on but yeah, she said often, one of the things that surprised me was she said green, you know, because stuff will be put there at green up day, but then she says afterward, it usually feels like people come back and
It worked.
so anyway, and she had another one of her neighbors mention it to her too. So she just wanted to bring that concern to us. And again, I don't know what we typically do about these situations, but I just wanted to let everybody know that it's a concern. And if we could do anything, I mean, I literally was like, is there trees close by? She's like, yeah. I'm like, maybe we should put up a camera so we can see who's doing it. One where they don't really know it's there. But, cause yeah, one of her neighbors thought about putting a no dumping sign and she said, well, don't do that because, you know, the town has to do it if anything like that's gonna go up, but,
I don't really think that would stop them. I think it's
probably not.
now it's a sign saying dump here. 'Cause
Yeah.
everybody else is.
They'll take it as a challenge.
I mean, I will say that there's one up on Hill Street, you know, on Dr. Butch's land, by the bridge. There's a no dumping sign there. I don't ever see anybody dump anything there, but I don't know if he sees them dump things, you know, if the family sees them dump things there. I have no idea. But there was one put there. Must be at his request.
The camera idea.
Thank you for letting us know.
Like the camera idea.
Sure. Anything?
Yes,
I just want to touch on that though, because, you know, people have complained about the dumping over almost on the property line on the pond road as well. Maybe we should invest in a few cameras for the
Yeah, move
police,
around.
for the police.
Yeah,
Have them put them up and check them every so often in areas where people have concern. Just a thought.
yeah, they could move them around.
Yeah.
And they're not that expensive anymore with
No.
the technology improvements and so forth. Mhm.
Well, I like the idea.
Something.
Well, I'm just wondering,
we could
how
run,
legal that is and having PD
Put
do
up a
it.
video surveillance sign
Okay.
Yeah,
everywhere you put up a camera.
we can
Okay.
rent them up.
Leave
for
the
emergencies. Make
signs there when you take the camera down. They'll never know the difference.
right.
Those are brave enough to test it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, that's true. Just note it as long as you put up a sign. I mean, I don't know if it's required, but we could find out. But it might be good to put a sign out saying there's
Yeah.
video surveillance.
Do that as well. I mean,
I like it.
check with the chief. I'm sure he'll know
Yeah.
if we can do it or not.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, sure.
Your idea.
Well, please, which is probably the best thing.
So remember the last meeting, V-Trans has approached us about a temporary bridge on Payne Turnpike North. So that appears to be proceeding and it's expected to be in place early June. So they're
Early June, really?
pretty quick on that. They've already moved the
Nice.
dirt piles from the road, so the two hazard ramps are gone.
I noticed there's some more barriers there though now.
There's more signage.
Yeah.
Barricades, Jersey barriers beyond that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Got our first check on the local options tax last week. So how much do you think it was?
You want me to guess?
No, you can't.
825.
1,000 per quarter?
Oh, for a quarter?
Yeah,
60.
60,000?
You can't tell. I can't tell.
I can't
'cause you
tell.
told me.
You can't tell.
Yeah.
So how are we gonna resolve this? I would have been happy with 160,000. we're estimating 640,000 for the whole year. Which would be 160,000 a quarter. It came in at 230,000.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I said when he told me.
I thought it was gonna be low.
Well, I was worried because it came in two parts, and the first part was like 40,000. I'm like, is this kidding? Does that mean like Barry's getting all of her money? And then the second part came through at
Are
190,000.
they charging the car dealers too?
Well, look, a gift in the month.
That's great.
That's,
I was thinking when you said it, I wasn't thinking of a quarter. I knew we had
Yeah.
thought 660,000 for.
Well, you're close though for annual.
I was thinking it would be higher for the annual than the 660 that we
Yeah.
originally anticipated. So.
Wow.
that's Very
That's
good news.
exciting.
that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
See, well worth it. And that's probably with a lot of people not having implemented it immediately.
That's the first quarter. I don't necessarily see the first quarter being really high purchases, maybe at the first of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
People aren't doing, people don't, they're not
After the holiday.
shopping,
No,
the roads are bad, they're
really
not
good.
heading out and stuff. And I asked Carol Dawes about it, and she goes, well, Barry, it kind of, there's some fluctuations between quarter, but you
Yeah.
don't think there's a whole lot fluctuations between the quarters, so.
Good news.
Still, that's, if every quarter is like that,
Yeah,
we could do well.
you have anything else?
then, because last week, they had the planning commission held the forum in Riverton,
Yes,
and Joe, you attended.
I did.
I forgot about it. Somebody's gonna kick me send me a text.
I'm glad you're mentioning that because I didn't bring that up in roundtable, but I was hoping that would be discussed because I did have a resident come to me and express concern and said that there was some information put on Front Page Forum and
There was a
document.
post down there.
I indicated I hadn't seen that yet, so whatever you can share in terms of the concerns.
So there's
Around
a
here.
couple of things that I think I learned when I was down there. One, I believe that the town of Berlin and all their boards and commissions are working in silos. So the planning commission looking to promote this new growth in Riverton is also trying to promote a walkability. Where we, 2 days prior, was looking at a bridge with or without a sidewalk and what is that going to take as far as cost, delays, and everything else. With nobody from the community to voice their wants, desires for a sidewalk, there was a lot of people that were upset. And really, I mean, I think it comes back to lack of participation of the residents, but also I think it goes back to our agendas go out and they're very, very basic without a lot of, context to it. And so I think that kind of falls on us. And then as a select board and the planning commission, they have a dream and we're not really we're not communicating. So how can that dream, blossom if we're doing one thing and they're looking for something else?
Mhm.
So that was what I learned from there. There was a lot of people that didn't feel like they had a lot of information shared, or they didn't feel it. Maybe the planning commission, it wasn't all that forthcoming or truthful in some of the plans moving forward.
Wait, can you expound upon that? What do you mean?
Well, I think it's so their sewer plan, their plan for their new town lease, if you want to call it, is right at the bottom of a piece of property, which is I think going to be a prime for development. And that part of the project, because I heard this in one of those breakout sessions, is that septic system, town system, will be open to some town residents, current residents, but I think it's really being set up for development.
It is, I mean, partially, yes, because
Right.
it's a private landowner.
So, you know, they feel that, they weren't, and I'm gonna say a number of town residents were just feeling like they were being taken advantage of as far as, you know, what their community is. They like their community the way it is. They don't really want to have more growth. If they wanted growth, they would move to Montpelier, you know, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're all that way.
No, I understand.
But that's some of the feedback I got from that meeting.
And the feedback that I got was similar and along the lines of, is the way that is being presented and things that are going to occur down the road in Riverton more so to benefit the developers.
Yes.
That was a big concern by the individual that came forward to me. Mhm.
And not all the community members down there was informed of what was going on or what the plan was. Matt White's Heating,
Mhm.
so owns quite a large piece of
Definitely.
property down there. And he owns property behind him, and that is part of the overall development of 82, 84 potential housing
Mhm.
units,
Mhm.
being townhouses and single family homes and such. And he had like not a clue that anyone was even looking at that piece of property.
Okay, well, so those are all just, it was like when we did the town center depiction of what it could look like. There's nobody developer saying, I want to build here. It's people giving you a vision of what could be done with the area, just like they gave when they dropped Montpelier on top of the Berlin Mall site to show that Montpelier's fit on that mall site. It's like giving you a perception of what could be. It's not set in stone, or it's just getting ideas. So I mean, I understand that what you're saying, it wasn't communicated, but it wasn't communicated because it's not a plan that's like plan in the sense that it's step one, plan, step two, develop. It's a concept plan.
Mm-hmm.
That might be really great to put into our meeting minutes when tonight's meeting minutes are presented, because that's a very good explanation. Whereas this individual that came to me felt like something isn't smelling right in Denmark and that something's going to happen before folks know what's occurring, sort of secretive per se. And that's a great explanation that that's not the case.
I mean,
Well, because I kind of thought this whole process was, you know, what updates do we need to make to our zoning regs in that area, you know, to accommodate this? But some of the feedback I heard from this forum was more, or the residents came away with feeling, you know, this plan is a done deal, that they've got developers waiting to come in, you know, itching, and I don't know where this disconnect in communication from this, especially this whole Riverton Waste. I thought this was to serve existing customers that had failing systems, and all of a sudden, and I said, no, it's not going to be for them. It's going to be for this new development. So,
well,
and then where the whole, and then on top of that, the whole cost of this, you know, I think the planning commission is looking to put it on the public works board and the select board to fund this thing, where that's never been what we've done on the sewer and water side. It's always been user fees that paid for everything.
Right.
So, you know, here again, I think there's a huge disconnect on the expectations there. Just like on the ice rink, if the expectations aren't meeting realities, we're going to be investing a whole lot of time and money into another failed project.
I thought that there was like 100% funding for that from the state.
For the design, but
I
not
thought
for
for the build,
not
too.
for the build.
No, not for the build, just the design.
What's the funding?
I'm sorry?
Tour.
There's no funding from the state, or is it a match? Do we have to match it? The build for the septic.
There is no funding for the build of the septic.
That's not what I understood.
Now, Tom's applied for congressionally designated spending again, and that's at this point favorable, but even there's a match, so
Yeah.
where's that match?
It's been a while since I've been, that whole thing died at one point when I was on the planning commission. So it's been a while since I've been part of the conversation, so I'm not aware of where they're at now. I thought that, as I understood it back then, there was a program that was gonna pay for the system at the state, not that we were gonna have to be on the hook for it. So that's different understanding than I had at that time. So I'll have to.
Well, I think it was dreaming that there would be ARPA funds available, but ARPA funds have
Yeah, because
right up at this point, because that was, that was.
yeah. Because when we first did it, we didn't make the cut, I don't think, on that, when I was on the commission. And so it kind of just got put to the side. And, but the idea, I always knew that the people that own the land were doing it for a reason, were offering the land for a reason. I mean, it wasn't because they didn't, I mean, I knew they would want some of the usage, or some of the capacity of the system. I don't know. I don't recall how much, but I think that was always, at least from my understanding on that, that was always a factor. But I mean, it's hard because, I mean, I get when this happens and residents are frustrated because they, but it's also hard to get the word out when a lot of times people don't pay a lot of attention to what's happening until it gets to the point where they start hearing things and they don't like it. And so, I don't know what the answer is, but this has happened numerous times on the planning commission where we'll work on something for a very long time. And there'll be certain people involved from the neighborhood, but then, it doesn't necessarily get around. And then things kind of come to a head. And I don't know how to fix it, but it's always a problem to get people to participate.
And also I think the issue with the Riverton Fire Station coming up, and
yeah,
it was kind of
that was weird.
referred at the forum that it was a done deal that the Riverton Fire Station was going to be torn down, and
Or
that was never
repurposed, or green space, whatever that might be.
You'd have to tear it down to get green space.
Sure.
But yeah, that is not our intent. That has never been our intent.
Yeah.
And there was apparently some misinformation on the community. I'm going to call it misinformation. As opposed to calling it a flat out lie, that communications had taken place that hadn't in fact not taken place.
Yeah. Well, I'll find out about this too when I go to the meeting. But I would really wish we would get that. I don't remember what organization it is that comes in and does this community assessment, and they were going to do Berlin. We were supposed to be on the list.
Yep.
We got pushed down the list again because they were doing Northfield, where they actually they go out and they pick people that are not currently involved with the town to head up groups. They go and do, community meetings, and I can't think of what the organization is that does it. But anyway, I really wish they would do that, because I really had hoped that would bring more people into the conversation, because the idea when we got the village center in Riverton was to try to create more
Community involvement.
business, or little like shops, coffee shop, or, things that would make it more of a community. But maybe, if they don't want it, people that live there don't want that to happen, then, maybe we're putting efforts into an area that we shouldn't be. I mean,
They missed their store, and they want to know why they lost their post office. Those are the two things that came out of that
well,
meeting.
yeah, see, I'm sure it'd be nice to have a store that you can walk to, or, so anyway, the idea was to have hopefully to have more of that kind of activity there for the residents. But But yeah, sometimes the planning commission can do a lot of planning, but if nobody wants it to happen, or if people don't want to invest, it never happens. So that's why, we're fairly lucky at the mall site that the mall owns all that land and is a good partner and that wants to.
Well, the other thing, you can't always please everybody.
No,
Everybody's got a different, just like the people earlier, there's two sides to every story, and some people don't want ditches, other people do want ditches, and you can't go through and do, oh, we're gonna ditch in front of this house, but not this house. It's, some people may want the growth in Riverton, some people don't, and they want this, and they don't want this, so
No, you're right.
you can't please everybody.
So we turn around, we did like an advertisement campaign for the 1% options tax for the rec department and their ice rink. Maybe those big plans, those whatever, I don't want to call them pipe dreams because that's a little different.
Yeah.
But anyway, those plans need to somehow make it to that level and push it out to the community.
Yeah, and see, I didn't even think this was at that level yet, but again, I wasn't there, so I really wish I was. So I will become more informed and see, be able to communicate better with you guys what I'm hearing at the planning commission, so that because I do think that the silo comment is accurate. I mean, my eyes were opened a lot to when the rec committee started having joint meetings with the planning commission, because I had no idea all the things they were doing, right? So it really makes you appreciate the work that others are doing when when you understand what's happening and what the efforts they're putting in. So I think it's
On a similar, no, a little bit different topic. I think there's a whole lot more we can do with our town website. I don't like our town website at all.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
very dark and dreary, hard to read, and some of that's in my own aging eyes, but the print is very small, and but just the information we have on there compared to other towns. I don't know if you ever looked at Montpelier's website, and I don't know if we can ever get to the point that they are, but if you go to their city council agenda, you can click right on it, and it will bring you
Support documents.
the documents. So not only just the packet, but it'll be individualized by the. I put the warrants on there on our agenda page this time. I don't know if anybody's looked at them yet. I don't know if anybody cares, but I think
Yeah.
I don't see any reason not to put it on there.
Yeah.
All supporting documents could be on there.
Well, it's going to take more effort than what you have capacity for.
Right.
But let me put it that way.
The new website that we went, if I remember correctly, we get X amount of admin service from them, training and setup to do those kind of things.
It's not a training issue so much as it's capacity issue.
On our website, the new one, we should have
Personnel capacity.
Personnel capacity. Gotcha. Okay, I caught up now. I'm with you.
But I mean, I would like to, and I know Berrytown was looking at putting other zoning permits on the website. By the way, their zoning administrator is Nick Garbachik's nephew. I didn't know that.
Really?
Very.
Huh.
Maybe we could steal him when somebody else retires.
That'd be nice.
Property transfers. Put those on there. Like I said, our warrants and our packet information and stuff. I think there's a whole lot more we can and should be putting on there.
Yeah, I agree.
When going back to pushing something out for social media on like the 1% or whatever those projects are, maybe that's where you turn around and on Front Porch Forum, you could have your link going to the website, which you can click, and it's a one-stop for that project, whatever that project may be.
Yeah,
I believe there was concerns about putting links on Front Porch Forum. I know Tom tried putting links to this forum, and it was turned on by Front Porch Forum itself. for that type of post or something, but,
Well, so this is again changing direction a little bit, but at one point I contacted UVM because they have a, where I used to work in community development and applied economics, they have a class that will actually, well, if you have a big enough project, the whole class will actually work on it if it's like for example, branding, things for the town, like branding or the website, sort of a combination kind of project. And they were actually really interested. I think I called them when I first got on the select board. But it was the beginning of the semester and it was too late to actually get into but if we thought of like a multifaceted project that they would be interested in working on, they said sometimes it's just individuals or groups, but it could be a whole class project if it was big enough. Anyway, it's something to think about, and I'd be willing to. This woman was very nice and very receptive. I can't remember her name, but they could do website graphic stuff.
you could give me your contact.
Okay.
I brought it up at economic development last night.
Okay.
Last week or whenever.
Yeah.
I would like to see more town branding.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been to Montpelier recently. I don't know if they could bring up those signs, but you enter in, and there are these signs, downtown district
Yep.
and River Street district and,
Yep.
and stuff like that. And that doesn't have to be exactly, but kind of the same concept.
Yep.
I like to do for Berlin. I've been in contact with somebody. Our town entry signs, those have been
Yeah.
in poor repair for years. So let's, see if we can try to get a quote on those and just our branding.
Yeah. I will get that for you. And I think based on the work, when I worked there, they didn't have this particular project or this particular class, but they would put a lot of students out into the community to do work. And they had great experiences because it was, something new and usually the organizations that they worked for were very pleased with the work. And I think they've even expanded it since I left. So I'll send you the links to the information on the website and the woman's name.
Good talk.
Dreams.
And
You got dreams.
You gotta start talking about it before you can change anything.
so, the June 5th thing, is that at the Grange?
Yes.
And what are we doing?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So we're gonna put that together.
I definitely,
So that's supposed to be boards and commissions.
that's what I'm hoping.
And
Yeah.
advertise that it's no different. We did like 2 years ago, maybe.
I think, was that one at the hotel or was that the Grange? I wasn't there for that. I know we had one at the hotel.
We did one at the Grange.
Oh, yeah, we have one at the hotel too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And
Get people talking and I
I'd like to do something like that every year and
think that's a great idea.
maybe switch back and forth the content 1 year, have more of the department heads, have the police chief come and talk about what are the needs of the police department. The fire chief comes in, what are the needs of the fire department? Planning and zoning come in, what do we got going down? Public works coming in, highway coming in,
Yeah.
things like the next year, maybe more, the boards, what is the public works board doing? What is the DRB doing and rec committee doing? Like you said, they got a lot of stuff going on. And I think really when you want to grow the opportunities and stuff. So I don't know. Here again, it's an idea. It's not concrete by any stretch of the imagination.
Is the date concrete, or is it possible that it could?
Is
So it's a
Thursday, June
concrete
5th.
date.
Yes.
Another thing to think about is even if I think your idea is good about alternating, but maybe on the years, like if the planning commission wanted to do some sort of visuals or have some sort of thing to say, this is what we're working on, but not present necessarily, and have an open time when people can go through if I'm thinking of it like a booth thing, but just so that, because I do think that's one area, the planning commission where, and not that the other boards and commissions couldn't do it too, but I think because it directly impacts the future of the town, it's one of the areas that I really think is important that gets communicated.
Visibility.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, more of a town show type of thing, but
Yes.
each board have their own little booth.
Yes,
and
yeah.
You can stop in and chat and
Yes.
then move on to the next one and.
Yes, well, maybe during,
Have some
right
food or
after dinner or something and then have a
Yeah.
presentation, yeah. Or, we had happy hour.
Coffee with the committee.
No.
Okay.
How about that?
And well, that's another thing I wanted. I want to somehow I know Jeremy would have, breakfast with him at the Wayside type of thing. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm there fairly often. Some people see me there. And, a lot of people approaching me there, but, have a little more organized, don't know what to do it or something,
Yeah. Yeah, I think all those things are good. I think switching up, even switching up the location of the meeting might be nice sometime, going somewhere else in town, just down to the Riverton Fire Station, have our meeting.
Well, talking about meetings, at one point, I think it was suggested that it'd be nice to have the select board go to the fire department, right?
Yep.
And so now to ask you for June 2nd is our next meeting. You probably don't want to have the meeting down there because it's going to be a little harder. We can have the public because it's a public meeting. Maybe you want to treat that as a site visit. Would that work? I mean, you've asked about it, and I think you said I was in charge of setting it. So I'm going to say June 2nd. Maybe we do a site visit at the fire station here in Four Corners. Meet at 5?
At 5, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we're
Because
doing
then-
something on July 1st.
On July 1st,
Yes.
here
I
again,
guess.
it's a pipe dream that I've got no idea how I'm going to implement. I want to have a formal transfer ceremony, transferring the fire department over to the town, that we recognize the history and the legacy of the fire department up to now, and we're proud to have the fire department part of the municipal structure moving forward. And then having a formal pinning ceremony of the chief. And I've already checked with Janet that she won't poke too hard. Flo is going to be the MC for that night.
And Janet will do the pinning.
Janet will do the pinning unless you want to switch places with her. I
No,
don't know,
I
you
think
got
that's
some
wonderful.
unresolved issues with Joe or something.
I think that would be wonderful for
Want
Janet
to
pinning.
recognize the former chiefs of the department moving forward and, up to this
Yeah.
point. And I mean, it's a lot of ideas. None of them are concrete yet,
Sounds good.
but I do almost 90% have an invitation ready to go out. Going to invite the surrounding departments.
Oh, nice.
I'll have to get with you on that. Capital Fire Departments and.
Invite the governor?
'cause I've got interest in more towns interested in coming.
He's a
stuff.
Berlin resident,
Who's it?
governor.
Well, never know, yeah. Maybe he can do the pen. But, excited about this and recognize the dedication that's put in the past in the department and things to come.
Mhm.
I think great ideas. Prior to that, I think that the town and the department probably should really plan on getting together on where we may be at.
I was just gonna.
What are those, I don't know, loose strings,
Loose ends?
those loose ends? If there's any, what are they? You know, we're coming up on the 11th hour, and I feel
6
that.
weeks, just under 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you're gonna have, you have some things that are low hanging fruit, that I think it'll be easy to, you know, to work through. And others, I'm not sure where they're at. Even as a select board member,
No.
I'm not sure where they're at.
You're still gonna give me that command structure, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I see on the warrants that there's still work being done on the attorney side.
Mhm.
So we're paying him to do something. I'd like to see what that something might be.
What's done and what's left to be done
There you
from
go.
that perspective, yeah.
You know, we have met with Paul Gillies, and we got some great ideas and direction from him. He's very much into, he's done this for other municipalities. So we have some direction there, and let's just see where we're at.
Yeah.
And so
When are we gonna do that?
how are we gonna do that?
And
When?
are you gonna do it
That'd
as a meeting, or are you gonna do it?
I think it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a select board meeting.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, because that you,
Do you feel?
probably not.
Mondays are on.
You can just
Okay.
update us.
You know, Ryan Barr is on right now, and I'm sure that, you know, some of those same things are going through his mind.
Yeah.
So I believe you're gonna want to get, you know, Ryan, maybe we get Paul Gillies to come as well. I don't know what that is.
Mhm.
I would leave that up to both you and Ryan to determine a date and what those ground rules might be.
Okay.
No fights.
Okay.
I think Tour's still left for the roundtable.
No, he
I don't think.
No, he finished.
had
We
the,
did? Oh,
he had
I didn't have enough.
I guess,
You want more?
yeah, why not?
And I
I'm trying
would,
to get out of here.
It's a lot.
okay.
That's all right.
Playing footsie with you.
So nothing else left for roundtable? Do we have something for
We do.
executive?
I moved to enter into executive session for personnel under one VSA 31383, and I do not expect any action to be taken.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Opposed?